Hi, this is the first video of a series where we're going to be explaining the MLS and the tax record, how to search for properties, how to set up email campaigns for your client, how to comp properties, input listings, and again, just like look through the tax record to get further information for your clients and also about different properties. So we're going to start out with the basics. Here, this is the search page, or this is the home page for the Central Jersey MLS. You have a bunch of information that we'll get through. You have the news and alerts on the left-hand side, and you can go through and click through, and you'll be notified with any new things to the MLS. In the middle, you have the quick search. So you can search for properties by MLS number, by the street number, street name, city. The more information you have, the easier it's going to be able to search for a property. At the top bar, you have a quick search up here that you can also type properties address into, but it doesn't really have as much detail as the quick search that's right here. But again, you can use that bar at the top at any point. On the right hand side, you have the different links and external links to be able to find the licensee search. So if you're filling out a contract and you need the other agent's license number, you can always click this link to be able to fill out their information and get it. Benefits and vendors, you have showing time here. That's the system our office uses. You have my flood status, so flood search information, all this other information as well. Circle of Excellence homepage, all this stuff, and you can click the links, but the main pages that you'll be going on for searching and comping properties. Market Watch is pretty good to check through on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis if you don't get to it every day. It has any notifications for prices that are decreased in property value or list price, prices that properties that have increased, new listings, back on markets, active to attorney review, under contract, continue to show. It goes on. It also includes properties that have closed and expired as well. So if you're looking to find out properties that have expired on the market that you might want to try and get as listings, you can click that link, and I'll just go over a few of those things too. So on any typical day, I'll click the new listing link just to see what we end up having that pops up on the market, and these are all properties. It's usually from the past 2 or 3 days. So you'll see some properties with a day on market of 3 days, 4 days, but that's usually the extent that it stays on this page. So definitely check this link out, at least when the market's hot every day, if not like on a weekly basis, just to see the new properties that end up coming on the market. Hit the home screen. We'll bring you back to this. So now that we have this, basic idea of how the homepage ends up working, now we can go into further detail. So the next tab, I'm going to, essentially simulate as if we were looking at properties for a client. So actually, we'll just say that a client sends us information about a property. Let's say they texted you an address that they wanted to see. You could always text in or type in the address up here. Like I have a listing, 23 Gold Street in Edison. So if I just type in 23 Gold, it'll bring to the listing page right here. I can click the listing link, and it'll give me the full information for that listing. So going back to the home page, we'll go to the new listing tabs just to go over, what you might see on a typical listing sheet. Again, we click the link. Now we're looking at a page for a new listing, 81 Bloomfield Ave in Edison. And this is the complete MLS sheet that you have as an agent. Most of this information does not populate on Zillow. So this is really, the standout factors that you as an agent bring to your client is you get to see like the complete information page, that you're able to share. So if you click the pictures end up showing up for the property. There's 22 pictures for this particular property, so you can always scroll through to take a look at the pictures that are showing for this house. And if you email this over to your client, they'll be able to see that information as well. You have the photos, you have the tax history, parcel, flood map, all that stuff's at the top. You can click those links if you need more information. But at the top of the page, you have the address for the brokerage firm and the listing office first. So if you click any of these hyperlinks, it'll show you the Keller Williams tab. So this is like for a Keller Williams agent. Any of these hyperlinks will bring you to that agent's information, and you can feel free to click those links. You know, if you need to get their phone number, email address, like if you're writing up an offer for this property, you might need that agent's email address. And if you click the link to their name, it'll also bring you their phone number and email address as well. It has, again, the listing office. On the right-hand side, you have the MLS number. This is just another way to search for the property. Every property has a specific number that's associated to it. Once you list the property, it gets assigned one of these numbers. So if we were to copy and paste this link into here, it'll come up with this listing again. We just have to click it. So you can also search by MLS number. So the top, it has the status. So A is the status for active listing. So active listing with no offers on it. Again, you want to definitely call before setting an appointment to ask the agent if there are any offers on the property, because although it might not have an accepted offer on it now, there might be other offers that are in on the property that the owner just hasn't accepted. And you definitely want to know that prior to showing the property, because you don't know what the urgency of this particular showing is going to be. Like, for instance, if you find out that there's 2 offers on the property and your client wants to see the property on Friday and it's Tuesday, that property is probably not going to be available for your showing at that time. So you might want to, call up your client, see if they can see the property today. Again, if there are no offers on the property, maybe you could set that appointment, no problem, and you don't have to worry about it. But you definitely should ask if there are any interest in the property or if there is any current offers on the property prior to setting up showings. Another common question you get from your client is the list price of the property. They may or may not know it, but it's at the top of this page under LP for list price. And directly under that, it has the tax year for the previous year. So the taxes on this property are $6,426 for the year 2018. And taxes usually go up each year, and you'll be able to see that year after year. Below that, they have the county. So Edison is in Middlesex County, and it reflects that on this MLS. You don't have to worry too much about the zoning, but like this property is zoned for residential and whatnot. It's just good to know that stuff, but we won't worry too much about that now. Property disclosure, no, so they don't have any disclosures on this property, like a seller's disclosure or whatnot. Adult community, they say, no, this is not an adult community, so it's not restricted to the 55 and older standards that some of these communities have. You have the lot and block number. This is important for, writing up offers on the property. You definitely need that. It has the, again, listing agent's information, their broker information, their OP is office number, office fax number, and this is the agent phone number as well. So you don't necessarily have to click the link to be able to find it if it pops up here, but you can always click the link to get their email address or other phone numbers if they have multiple. So down here, you actually have the general information for the property. It goes through and tells you essentially like how many levels are on the property, what style of home it is. This one's a Cape Cod. Ownership with most residential properties are fee simple. To the right, we'll have the amount of rooms. Below, we have bedrooms, full bathroom, half bathroom, total bathrooms, just one. Basement square footage if it has it, square footage of the property if it's listed. If it's not listed and your client is asking you that information, you could always go to the tax record. A link to the tax record is both underneath the picture as TX, and at the top, it has realist tax. That will bring you to the same place as well. And we'll go over that in another video. If there was a management company, it would have that. That's more common for condos and townhomes because they actually have management communities and people managing those listings. Private use. Under here, the most relevant information is going to be like the driveway, the concrete driveway that's 2 cars width, a lot size of 50 by 100, acreage is 0.115, lot description, it just says it's near bus line, near shopping, near train. So that doesn't give us too much information, but still accurate. Exterior, so this is for like the exterior of the property. They're saying it's brick. So some siding might be vinyl. Other, like there could be, a few different other options, but like if someone's asking you what the exterior of the property is, you'll be able to find it on the MLS. Roof is asphalt shingling. You'll find a few different roofs, but asphalt shingling is one of the most common that you'll see. Exterior features, you'll have fencing, like a wall, near public transportation, near shopping, storage shed, and yard. Those are just additional features to the home that might not be common in all these areas. Directions below it just has like the different streets that you turn onto to be able to get to this property. Remarks. This is where like the agent actually puts specific remarks for the property that you should definitely read through. This is going to be accessible to your client as well if they're looking at it either on the listing that you email them to, or if they're looking on Zillow, they'll have this information to be able to read. The only thing that they won't have is right under it, licensing notes. Like that's only accessible if you're on the MLS. So it shows the showing instructions for this particular one. Again, your client's not going to have that. Sometimes in the license notes, there might be additional information that you need to convey over to your client that they just didn't want to put out there for the world to see. So definitely read through this. And I like anytime I'm showing a property or anytime I'm giving information to a client, I will definitely look at licensing notes as one of the first things, just to be able to have some relevant information, because everybody's going to be able to find the list price. Everybody's going to be able to find like the taxes for the property for the most part, and how many bedrooms and bathrooms. That's all accessible. But the parts that are not accessible are going to be like one being licensing notes, and that's definitely what you would want to be able to know for your client. Additional information, again, you can read through this. We have 2 stories. The flooring is ceramic and wood flooring throughout, so probably ceramic tiles in the kitchen and wood flooring throughout the rest of the home. And again, if your client's asking you that type of information, this is where you would find it. The kitchen's an eat-in kitchen, so it's a little bit bigger. You could probably fit a table in there and whatnot, and you can actually, sit a family or at least a few people down in the kitchen. The dining section, doesn't look like this particular home has a dining room, or else it would have, referenced it here or even up like higher on in the page. And underneath this is appliances. These are the appliances that are included in the property. So you have the dishwasher, dryer, gas range, oven, microwave, refrigerator, and washer. Again, this is like very important information for your client to know. Most of these things end up being included for the property, but again, like this is definitely where you find out what is actually left in the property, because you might have a client that asks, hey, is the washer and dryer going to be left? And like that's not always like the case. In this particular case it is. But under these appliances that are included, you'll have the excluded, and they just say personal belongings. So that doesn't reference any of these utilities or any of these appliances over top. Basement has checked off as yes. It's a full basement, inside entrance, laundry facilities, workshop. Great. Level 1, 2 bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen, living room. Level 2 is 1 bedroom. So pretty much the layout of this house. This is a typical Cape Cod property. But if your clients like really do want at least 1 bedroom on the first floor, because they might have like a small kid that doesn't want to do the stairs, or if they have like an in-law living with them or some family relative that's too old to be able to go up and down steps, this would be good information to know, is that they actually have 2 bedrooms on the first floor. Heat, it's going to tell you the heating system used. This one's particular baseboard hot water. Cooling is AC wall units and window units and ceiling fans, so it's not central AC, not central air. Water is public water. Services, garbage included in the tax. It's great. Fuel is natural gas. Water heater is gas. And all utilities are underground, and sewage is public sewer. So this is like your typical residential house. And it goes back into having the tax information. In this particular section, it says possess at closing. That's 99% of the listings you're going to have. It's going to say like at the closing, then that's when you end up taking over ownership of the property. Finance is cash, conventional, or FHA. It's not really restricted to anything in particular. Land assessments, building assessment, total assessment. This is just like how they assess the taxes for the town. Underneath that, you'll have the owner information. So it's an estate sale, the estate of Thomas Shannon and Patricia Shannon. The owner's information is also going to be accessible on the tax record as well. Below that is pretty important information. This is how much of a commission that they're willing to give out, or that the sellers are willing to give out for this transaction. So in this particular case, they're willing to give out 2.25% minus 150 for the MLS fee. You show by calling Showtime or messaging Showtime. And the list date is posted right here. It's posted on all these websites, Realtor.com, Zillow. That also includes Trulia these days. And then just again, it has the original list price. So if they had reduced to like, let's say 250, it would say 250 at the top, and the original list price would be 289, but it's only been on the market 2 days. So there's not enough time for any price reductions, nor is there a need for. And underneath this, you can actually click the link to history. So this will show like all the times that the property has been on the market, and whether or not it's sold. And it looks like this home sold back in 2012, in December of 2012. Then they had it listed again for some reason, and that just ended up not going anywhere. And then it ended up just expiring and then being listed again. So that's the story with this house. This is a basic search tutorial, and also just getting used to the MLS. I'm going to go into my next video of actually how to set up a search, an email search for your client. And I'll see you in the next video.